Previously on Follow the Leader.
Okay. I like that for how we get back to shore, basically.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of setting, because I feel like Quiet Knife has to be more, threatening
Yep.
than that. So I feel like for what this instant looks like, I think this is sort of this oyster is drifting with the currents, and at the same time trying to take in food. And so, we've gotten in this when it's been open, and it starts to close again. It starts to, fill back up with water.
Yeah.
And so Alizarin just takes, I'm gonna just say a literal knife, unsheathes it, sticks it in whatever this thing's big tongue pseudopod is, forcing it to just, instinctively open, try to force out the sharp nasty.
Mm-hmm.
And, expecting to tumble out in the middle of the lake. Alzarin is spit out of this thing, but ends up near the shore, clutching his tiny little prize.
Does Anna also?
Yeah, I think Anna doesn't have any prizes at this point, but I do think that she washes up on the shore. Notably, she is not coughing or spluttering or anything like that from undoubtedly having been exposed to / potentially seeming to have swallowed some of the water as we get ejected from this beast.
Yeah, Alizarin also made no overture to attempt to help pull an F out. It's just yeah, she could take care of herself. I know what this thing is like.
Yeah.
What a fun mix.
It seems like I have succeeded at this wager.
Yeah.
We now return to your game, already in progress.
So it sounds like we're probably done with this particular scene. So after a scene has been played through, everybody picks up a card from the thread to put into our hand. And then we collectively pick one card to put in the Arbiter's deck, for something that, we haven't seen the last of.
Just pulling them apart so we can look at them.
Yeah.
I think I should probably take Healing Word into my hand.
Yeah, that seems most appropriate.
I think that makes sense.
I feel like Driftwood is quite appropriate for me.
Yeah.
Nice.
Snatch that one.
I would like to take Grandmother's Ring.
Nice. Any of these speaking to you, Shrug?
I already took Healing Word.
Oh, You did. I am so sorry.
But thank you.
I'm going to take Quiet Knife then.
Nice.
I'm sure that could be in no way a problem.
And these go on the remaining 3 go on the Arbiter deck.
One of which does, I believe.
Okay, which one do we want? Which one do we want to go into the Arbiter's deck?
I feel like either Chasm or Adversary.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just because of how things have been going, both of those can come back to bite us in the ass later.
Mm-hmm.
I love these surprise traps. Yeah.
Let's put Chasm in the Arbiter's deck.
Yeah, I think chasm is a very good one, because that can mean a lot of things. I mean, all of them can mean a lot of things, but in this specific context, I feel like chasm has such a wide...
Is there a discard pile?
We can make one.
I've just been kind of dropping
Yeah.
things in the corner of shame, I'll be honest.
Bottom left or bottom right for Corner of Shame?
So I will say, by this, it states, retire the thread back into its slot and cue a new scene. Keep spinning threads until everyone's played their Atropos. So I think we could just tuck them back with an invitation and just have them all sort of gathered together, or a wager.
Yeah, no, that's smart.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
There we go. That's one done.
Cool. Coda, you're up.
Alrighty. Let's go with a sabotage.
Oh.
Wrench in the gears. And the cards we have. We have Peacekeeper, Mediator, Vigilante Justice, Law in the Hand of the Common Folk, or Enforcer, Honor Guard, the Steel Grip of Martial Law, with Lieutenant, the right hand of power, loyal failure, the weak link in the chain, or Expendable and Faceless, Impartial Emissary, Soldier for Hire.
That's fun. That's really fun, given everything we've talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Should we make a character at some point?
I feel like this has got to be a specific person, yeah.
I think we
Yeah.
have a person. I think we have just turned a person over.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, let's talk about characters for a second.
Lieutenant Peacekeeper.
Yeah.
We meet again.
We meet again, Lieutenant Peacekeeper. Let's talk characters for a second, shall we? Whenever you turn up a character, or when you encounter someone that seems interesting and that you kind of want to keep around, you can put together a character. Unlike the ones that we create, these ones simply have a core and a crossing that's defined. But those are essentially people that you can touch back on later to see kind of how things are going, or if you want to involve them as sort of a minor in the scene and somewhere. Like, sort of like how, I think it's, well, I guess I'm going to reference Follow for this one for a second. Sort of like how you have major and minor characters over there, right? So...
I've pulled a card from main and expansion for this individual.
Okay. That's a fun mix.
Yeah.
The right hand of Solomon Ash, spidering stress fracture and a tectonic slip in composure, a volcanic eruption, patron saint of wounds endured, grievances borne, grudges held, and dandelion seed, whirling away at the whim of the wind, ready to grant an impossible wish, hopeful and hopeless. Just another seed, unlikely to take root, and if it did, 'twould only blow away again.
Man. That's fun.
Person of contradictions.
Yeah.
Huh.
Which one do we think is the core and which one do we think is the crossing, though?
Dandelion seed's got to be the core.
Yeah, I'm on Dandelion Seed being the core here.
I'm down to have that as the core.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
don't think it's what everyone sees, given the rest of
Yeah.
this that's been established.
Yeah, I like the idea of somebody who is like kind and well liked, but maybe a bit flighty. People think, oh, they're harmless. Meanwhile, they've got this inner life of just waiting to explode out of them.
Real.
It's very fun and good.
Okay. Size him up, Lieutenant Peacekeeper. I think we've got our person.
Okay. How do we feel about the name Endymion?
Love it.
Yes. Spelled how?
Alright.
Endymion.
Okay.
Finds its roots in ancient Greece, where it's derived from the Greek word endyma, meaning to enter or dive in.
Fun. And I forget, did we go for vision or sabotage?
Sabotage.
Sabotage. Okay.
Beastie Boys intensify.
Yeah. Sabotage. Da-da-da-da-da.
So the next question I have is Endymion the one doing the sabotage, or are we sabotaging Endymion's endeavor?
Endymion is the method. Endymion is the tool by which the sabotage can be done. Mayhaps.
No, I love that.
I mean, if we're thinking
Somebody's
about...
a powder keg. If somebody's a powder keg ready to explode, you just got to put them in the right place.
Yep. And if they're ostensibly there to... I like the impossible wish side of things, most especially with Dandelion Seed here. So they've already blown in. They've already made grand promises about what will be and how will be. Okay. Lovely. Wonderful. Nodding my head.
Somebody want to play Endymion for the sake of this event? Or we want to just abstract it out?
I think let's get a bit of runway and then decide.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, I'm curious how the sabotage may connect to Gia.
And most especially in what context they're being engaged with here.
Yeah. I think this is a very deliberate action on Gia's part. It's up on the surface, maybe on one of the small docks. They're sitting. And when I say it is singing, it isn't necessarily something that comes from a mouth. As it sits on this dock, on this little pontoon, whatever, they look like, again, mostly humanoid, but they have like finned ears. They look very much like, oh, that's a sea person, right? Like there's this slight greenish hue to the skin. Clothing looks like it's partially constructed of like plant life or shells. And they've got this like mask that looks like it's made out of the shell of a creature or bone that's been carved that covers everything from like their cheeks down to like to cup underneath a jaw. And their hair is like this vivid pink that looks a little bit like maybe an anemone. Sort of, if it was dark enough, it would probably have a faint glow to it. But otherwise, it's just there, and they've got like, it has this sort of crown-esque thing made of metallic-looking coral that's holding back this quote hair. I've had a really fun time looking up different coral. Let me tell you. So I think there's enough talk and people between the people that have always lived on the edge of the lake and like what people have discovered. It is known that there are creatures that dwell within the lake, but very few people have had dealings with them. But they are a known entity. But it's very much like, don't approach the seals on the beach. Yeah, they look chill. Just don't. It's very much like it. Don't, unless you know exactly what you're doing, don't. So, but yeah. And the reason they go by Gia is because if you ask it what its name is, you are just going to feel in your mind the sensation of the cool water being pulled across your skin in a way that is both refreshing and also leaves you more chilled than you realize. And it's really hard to convey that with words when you have a mouth or when you don't have a mouth. Not that anyone knows that necessarily, but you get that sensation. I feel like it was maybe Tapfoot got enough of a vibe based on certain, like, the appearance of certain things that but yeah.
Oh, Taproot, you mean?
Sorry, Taproot. What did I? Yeah, but Gia does not care and does not expect anyone to be able to pronounce it, like its actual name. So if someone's like, can I just call you this? Be like, yeah, okay, fine.
Whew.
It's more just to get its attention more than anything else.
No, that's so real.
But yeah, it's there
It's there. It's
on the
growing,
pontoon, singing, sort of.
sort of.
And I think it's a mix of that way that sort of whales do. It's got, I don't know enough about whale biology to know how whales sing, okay? But like something like that, a little bit like throat singing, and it's a little bit you're not actually hearing it with your ears. But yeah, this is full like maybe maybe Taproot spoke to Gear one time about stories about sirens or whatever, and Gear was like, huh, Gia will remember this.
Yeah, and I think it is in this context at which Taproot is standing at the shore, sort of looking outwards and witnessing this. And I think it's one of those situations where, like, maybe at first for the expedition and for those that had been here, like, everyone always has their fascination with it to start. But when they realize that they're not necessarily on the frequency and that trying to drive questions is a difficult process without much immediate, like, satisfaction to it, it's one of those situations where it's like, oh, the siren's on the lake again. We'll just pass on through. It's another thing in the background for now. There are greater machinations at work to be had. With Taproot, on the other hand of things, I think getting an acknowledgement in any sense at all, I guess that is the question, right? Like, for Taproot, was it immediate, or did it take, like, days, weeks, months even to get a response of any kind?
I think the first interaction they had was when something he had thrown into the lake gets thrown back at his head one day when he's walking. And just like this chastising voice in the back of your head is just like, was like, watch where you throw things.
And in genuine surprise, like, stepping back into that moment for a bit, it's Taproot going, I didn't know there were things that were being thrown at. I had theories, but most of them as numerous as the sands and as useless to me as to anyone.
I think you just get this vague, disgruntled noise like, it doesn't matter. It's rude. I did not hear an apology.
Well, if the lake has manners, surely it has a name.
I am not the lake. I am in the lake.
Then who are you in the lake?
I think a head pops up out of the water, and it is that humanoid looking with the finned ears that I just described, and you're just being squinted at. How close to the water's edge are you?
I think with Taproot, it's always been, and I suppose it's at this point that I should probably describe how they look. This is someone who is commonly in, honestly, it's not really robes. It is sort of swimwear, right? It is fabric that is meant to be used around water but not going in, like waxed cloth sort of outfits laid over more comfortable padding, boots that are hardy and leathered and that are built to last even going through the currents that sort of, or sorry, not the currents necessarily, but just the standing water that goes around the shore. They have with them a spear, but not one that's used for necessarily combat, but more for fishing. It's got two prongs on the end just to catch onto something a little better. And also, with all of that, a straw hat drawn low over their head at the moment, but something that they'll tip up as they look out onto the waters. They are always, unless they're really up and fishing, usually at least the spear's length away. So I would say probably twice of their wingspan out, maybe 6 feet-ish or so.
So they are a bird person.
Well, arm span, wingspan. Take not the Freudian slip.
You chose the word wingspan very deliberately.
Take not the Freudian slip.
Fair. And yeah, I think the question genuinely asked, you get that sensation. And for a second, it is you feel like you've had water splashed in your face. It's that vivid. And then you realize you're not wet.
Should I describe that by sensation or by letters?
So did what?
That's the question that Taproot asks. Like, it's for a moment, right? They're taken aback and they pause and sort of like holding a hand in front of their face. But then they just respond, should I describe that by sensation or by letters?
It is my name. However you want. You won't be able to say it the same way.
Well, then there's no use in me saying it the same way, so I'll pick a way that means something to me instead, and we'll go from there. And then Taproot points the blunt end, to be clear, of the spear at Gia and goes, then to you and to me, you'll be the washing over shores. Does that sound right to you?
I think there's a feeling of bafflement, but not in an aggressive way. The way where some people get really angry when they're confused. This is more of a, okay, all right, yeah, this hasn't offended me. Fine. It's sort of like confusion, acceptance, whatever floats your boat, mate. Because the consciousness, it's not like a fully psychic. I think it's just this telepathic communication. Wouldn't work over a certain distance anyway, and it's not an alien kind of consciousness. This very much feels like a person, a recognizable like brain and a way of constructing sentences. This is a different kind of communication. So you do get the feeling that you haven't offended them. So good job. And they are quietly intrigued because you are being respectful in a way that they can mess with, as it were. I think you have not fully made up for the thrown items, but some more. There is a little bit more good feeling there. And then you just get a next time throw something interesting. And then ducks back down under the water out of sight.
Well, if that's the price, then if you'll remember, if you can even hear me, I'm the windings between branches.
I think you get a sensation back. And it's not branches, but it is like a current moving between branches of solid coral is the feeling you get back.
Interesting. Okay. And I think it's that in that same context, and I'm not sure, I think this might have been a months then situation.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
Where months later, like however long ago it is that the expedition arrived in the interim, it's now Taproot on a similar shore, but with structures built up around that were not there before. And sort of watching with some, I don't know if it's intrigue. I don't know if it's a sort of disapproval, but a something, as there's movement on the shores now. There's people that were not there and did not have the exact same understanding that he has somewhat gathered, and in sort of representation of that, and sort of standing beside him, then would be Endymion.
Mm-hmm.
And now having that established, I leave this one to someone else to take. But I think I may draw a card at this point to sort of spark what exactly it is that's brought one to the other here. So,
Yeah, and I'm gonna play my Lonely Aria card.
you know what? We'll take that.
For what this feels like. It does. I think the feeling that comes with it is mournful, and does. I think that Taproot has had enough dealings with gear to realize that it cuts off. Like, it doesn't feel complete before it starts again. But to someone unused to it, it does sound like something finishes and then begins again. Or maybe it's like a different verse or whatever, but you've heard enough to recognize the equivalent of something breaking off mid-sentence.
Okay. Well, let's flip this to see what the Arbiter responds with. What a beautiful response, Arbiter. Terrible. In response, we've received the Merchant, a bureaucratic bottleneck, factory boss, the company store, or a fair trade, a need filled, a broker of favors.
Wow, we got a company man on the show.
Yeah, I think we're going with a fair trade, but more towards the broker of favors situation. This is not a situation that Taproot likes being in, but it is a situation that Taproot is in.
I feel like August or Shrug, one of you's gotta be this guy now.
Yeah. How you feeling, Shrog? Do you want to, or would you prefer I do? You do it. I'm nominating
Sure.
you.
All right, I'll make an effort. We have a lot of things going on with Endymion. So yeah, Endymion. So what do we say? He's on the shore with Taproot.
Yep.
There's the haunting aria that Endymion almost certainly does not comprehend the meaning of.
I think they would understand that it's sad. I think enough of the emotional intent behind it comes through, even if the specific sensations or sentiments within it don't.
Yeah, I think in the vein of the Merchant card, I mean, even a little bit on the other side of it.
Sure.
Endymion has brought these goods from where the settlers come from, and they're probably not intrinsically useful to anyone who's from this lake. But I think, kind of harkening back to that first meeting between Taproot and Gia, it's baubles. It's like silver and gold sort of thing. And
shining and useless.
You know, it's sort of being offered up to the lake. Like, well, look, we're trying to bring fair recompense for the natural goods that we wish to harvest from this place.
I think Taproot sort of leaning on the end of that spear. The prongs have been pointed down to keep them stable. And they just sort of like look over at it. Is this like coffers? Is this like handfuls? Like, how big of a scale is it necessarily?
I think it's like kind of a suitcase of cash.
One fine
Beautiful.
velveted chest. Yeah, that's so real. I think Taproot regards that with bemusement, and it like tipping up the hat and peering over the edge of the lake, and just sort of asks, well, what good is that to water?
Well, these are fine workable metals, for one thing. And have you ever heard of a wishing fountain? I think Endymion, like, takes out a coin and, like, flips it into the water.
And Taproot just sort of grimaces and goes, I've heard tell. Toss a coin, make a wish. But how come we never hear the tales of what wishes get made?
I think you finish speaking and you both realize the singing stopped.
Was it a wish for silence? Or something else?
I thought you knew the story. You don't tell what you wished for, or else it doesn't come true.
I think they look up for a bit and go, well, that's just as easy. If you don't explain what you want, then no one can complain later when you come to take it. Look, I've been told before, no uncertain terms, only useful things go in. And gold and silver might be useful to you, but I can't see that having any value here. You're sure you want to bother with it?
This, my good man, is good faith.
Well,
We're perfectly willing to come back and have what we will from this place, without trying to give you anything in return. But I am here as an honest broker.
okay. Then let me check my hand here.
Does Endymion believe what he's saying? Or do you think it's like the party line? Thinking about that push and pull between Dandelion Seed and the right hand of Solomon Ash.
I think Endymion believes it. I think, he doesn't comprehend, so I think he may have been sent as something of a patsy.
Yeah.
To give an offer that, that ready to grant an impossible wish. It's like, well, you've been sent here to deliver an offer that will never be accepted.
Oh, that's so real.
And that's the point.
Alizarin back at home being like, Alizarin playing with his new signet ring, just like, yeah, go do this.
But that's the sabotage of it, right?
Yeah, that is true. A mission that will never be fulfilled. I think
You've been offered nothing. So, like Taproot said, that way you can't complain when they come to take it.
Mm-hmm.
And with that too, I think I'll invoke Holy Stricture for this one.
Very good.
Because Taproot will stand up straight and sort of like suck on his teeth a bit, and then go, well, if it's good faith, then one good faith to another, huh? You can bargain with it all you like, with all of your fancy riches. You can come to take it with swords and whatever else you might bring. But consider still why it's there, and why others already haven't come to try and do the same. Maybe they did. Have you seen what washes up on the shores around here?
Heard fantastic stories.
It's all trash, didn't you know?
Trash to whom?
I mean, I've found some of it useful, sure, but I'm not the lake. I just live right by it. So when you think about what you're putting in, consider that what you're getting out is waste. Do you really want to add just more of that?
I think this is when Endymion snaps the case shut and hauls it up under an arm again. Very well. Have it your way.
Oh, it's not my way. I'm just speaking from what I know. If you really want to have an offer, you ought to actually talk to the person you're offering it to.
I think there's that flicker of dawning comprehension, as Endymion is used to, like, you deal with people. You don't negotiate with land or water. And then flickers over to the place where the singing has stopped.
I think there is just a pair of, in the lowering light as we maybe approach dusk or whatever, these eyes that look a little bit too bright and a little too vivid, looking directly at you.
I think Endymion gingerly, like, opens the case again and shows these eyes? What's in it?
I think Gia comes over, and above the table here, I am very aware that there is a risk of portraying Gia and the people that it is from as um allegorous or like
Yeah.
hewing towards stereotypes around indigenous populations and all manner of unpleasant tropes. I am incredibly cognizant of
Yup.
such. Aesthetically, I'm imagining something very like more like ancient Egyptian in vibe
Hmm.
with the appearance. A part of why the Slavic accent of it all. Um, but I'm just aware, and I want our listeners to know that is not what I'm not trying to do that, but I'm aware that it may skew close to that, and my fellow players are more than welcome to go, hey, maybe we don't do that. Um, I'm English. We have bad track record with the treatment of Indigenous people, and I do not want to be that.
Understandable. Have a nice day.
So, okay. But I think Gia comes over, and this is like Endymion seeing this Lake Denzian for the first time up close. And I think a hand sort of picks up, and it's a very human, mostly looking hand. Like the skin color is obviously different, and is just sort of rubbing two coins together and appears to be looking through them. And to Taproot, sorry, Tapfoot, not Taproot. Why do I?
No,
No, it is
it is
Taproot.
Taproot. You got it.
You get the query. Windings between branches. Is this a sacrifice?
And Taproot looks up and considers. And I think it's one of those situations where in the intervening months it's as if it is very basic concepts at best. So as they speak, those images appear, and Taproot states, not a sacrifice, but a price or a payment. And as they're speaking, it is that luster of gold. And from Taproot's perspective, the spear that Taproot is leaning on is made of bone. It's made from local material. Um, it's not something that Taproot presents with a high regard. The luster on it is dull. They crave it for how their society works. But have you ever used any of it yourself?
I think this is sort of broadcast to both. This sort of like it's like speaking up as opposed to this direct message. It's just like this mineral different. I do not. I think there's this sort of vibe of working with. I think there is means of working very hot to change things down, and like maybe there's this vision of like, you know how in parts of the world you get like vents in the earth or underwater where like superheated water comes out.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's like that. Um, so I think there is this feeling of I can work with things, but I don't know if I can work with that, and it's like feeling how hard it is, and is unsure what could be made of it.
This is a price paid to take.
Take what?
And Taproot just kind of gestures around. This is one of those scenarios where I think they lack the words. The best that they can do is portray that same sort of splashing in the face that they got when they first met Gia. I haven't met others. Is all of this yours?
I think Endymion just laughs nervously, just like, no. Well, this isn't all mine. It comes from the group.
I think because Guy was fairly certain that said, took the sentiment as being asked to it,
Mm-hmm.
and you get
Oh,
back.
sorry.
I think it is. It's
Making
No,
kind
no,
one.
of
it's
both,
good.
though.
No,
Yeah.
no. But it works. It really works, and you both get a refrain of that lonely aria again. Emphasis on lonely,
Mhm.
and I think Gia closes the lid of the suitcase, gently takes it from Endymion's hands, and sets it down. And to Taproot is just like, I will make him see. And takes hold of Endymion and fully takes him into the lake.
Oh.
And is upsettingly strong. They do not intend to kill Endymion in this moment, but Endymion is going to get a visual of just what Gia actually looks like. Have you all ever seen Mushroom Coral?
Oh man, no, but I'm looking it up.
Yep. It's fun. Uh,
Ooh.
here's one of my favorite images I found. Imagine, if you will, a bioluminescent mushroom made of coral.
That is fun. Whew.
And it's sort of like these ridges that run over. It looks like a mushroom covered like frame almost. Like this is a colony of coral or mushrooms or some kind of fungus, and it is glowing around this sort of grayish purple form with these upsetting eyes. And I think we can have to draw close, but the Endymion that comes up out of the lake has a very new perspective.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, gold and silver, Gia can't use for anything. A person, though. And helps, and will literally walk him back up to the shore, to where, and I think the whole process is maybe 45 seconds to a minute, and the water is not deep, and so deep that Taproot can't see the bioluminescent glow beneath the surface. And I think it's dark enough now when Endymion comes out, there is flecks of bioluminescence in his irises.
Hell yeah.
And I think Taproot, you get one more thing from Gear before he disappears again, which is that they can use. And they dive back into the water. I'm imagining like you go into the water and it's maybe 2-3 foot of like shallows, and then there's a drop off really soon.
Oh, like you hit the shelf, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm imagining almost like when you see like former volcanoes filled with water or like a reservoir, like there is not a naturally occurring gentle slope. It is just drop. So
I feel like, and I'm gonna controversial opinion. I feel like I can put that under Ivy.
you like?
There's some uncomfortable symbiosis happening here.
Yeah, sure. If you like.
Uh-huh. I'm arguing for that one all of a sudden.
No,
Go for it.
that feels reasonable.
Just gonna
Absolutely.
nudge this one under here.
Cool. I think that's seen.
Gracious.
So if there are not enough cards for us to each take one, the people who don't have cards to take draw. So I think one of us and the Arbiter's deck will be drawing.
There's 4 cards there. Peacekeeper, Lieutenant, Lonely Aria, and Merchant.
Oh,
The Peacekeeper and Lieutenant are, yeah, those are from the original scene cards.
Mm-hmm.
Lieutenant was hiding under Peacekeeper because I'm not zoomed in very far, so...
Yeah, but, oh yeah, do we take from this? I guess we
I'd
do,
like
yeah.
I mean, I'd like to put Lonely Aria into the Arbiter's deck, to be honest.
Do it.
Yeah.
So, classic deck or expansion?
I don't think there's many expansion cards in the Arbiter's
Main deck it
or-
is. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. Well, let's
Yeah.
bump it up a bit.
Ooh. So I pulled the Lovers, a snakehead eating the head on the opposite side, or twin stars in orbit, inseparable partners, a whole greater than the sum of its parts.
Very fun.
Mm-hmm.
How about Loves? I already made a choice about the Aria, so.
I'd like to take Peacekeeper for Anna.
Nice.
That just feels very her at the moment.
Sure. Ooh, I'm rubbing my chin. I'm actually not sure. Shrog, how do you feel?
I'll take Merchant.
Okay.
Shockingly.
I think I'm fine to take Lieutenant then. We'll leave the Lovers to the deck.
Well, no, they're mine.
Oh, yeah.
That'll be mine.
That's yours then. Sorry. I forgot that you slipped a card in there already.
That's all right. All right. That's seeing.
Yippee.
So, Cory, you're.
Yeah, I think that's me next.
It is. What you feeling? Which of these events is speaking to thy soul? Also, I realized we took the event cards as part of our distributing cards. My fault.
I was wondering about that.
fine.
Yeah,
Well,
should
that's
we
not
put
how
them
that works
back?
Yeah. It's
We're
fine.
playing fast and loose, baby.
Alternatively, Lieutenant and Peacekeeper go back there, and then whoever has them draws a new card.
I'm happy to drop it
But
back.
then,
Yeah, I'm happy to draw.
okay.
Let me.
I'll draw a card and I'll drop Lieutenant back where it was.
Yep. Okay, it is Peacekeeper there.
Just let us know what cards you pick up.
Okay. Straight out from the deck. The Arbiter's deck, I guess, in this case?
No.
No, main one.
Main one. All right.
Main deck.
Yoink.
Yep.
Let's get some new blood into this.
Ooh.
That's a fun one. Leviathan. A mindless hunger, a tireless machine, crude oil burning in seawater, or scale beyond reference, ambition outside of reason, servant to nothing.
Delicious.
That's a very fun one.
What did you get, August?
I drew Heat Wave, the first spring thaw, thermal updraft, a warm embrace, or, more interesting to Anathema, dead air, oppressive heat, unrelenting drought.
Speaking
Which
of
is
Very fun.
Very fun, given all of the water around here.
Yeah, that's so fair. Speaking of which, I think it's time for a top event in the bottom row, because we haven't approached that land yet.
Mhm.
I'm going to go for a challenge. A risky gambit, a gauntlet thrown. So let's see what we turn over, shall we?
What?
First off, we get Baban, the Fallen. A would-be martyr with delusions of sainthood, a powder keg in want of a spark. Or a sheep fleeced, a chump bamboozled, a chronically unlucky sucker. In addition to that, we get Tender of Blooms, a gardener, a florist, a teacher. Or an apothecary, a provider of perfumes, potions, and poisons. Thank you for the plosives card.
Mhm.
I'm glad I have a pop filter.
Mood.
Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear. Oh, geez, oh, my, oh, dang. How to put these together? That's a dang good question. I'm pulling scenes from a hat. We're rolling from one to another. This is the style of a festival. Everything links together to some extent and purchase. I think if it's a response back, right? We've had this bargain. We've had the sabotage that's occurred. We have someone, I don't know if it's subverted is the right word necessarily, but this is a being that's now traveling back after they've seen something, and they're bringing this completely different understanding back to the expedition. And I'm not sure how the expedition is taking this in return, per se. When it comes through, how it comes up, you know? Like, I think it's one of those situations where Endymion now, and I'm going to flip this over, sort of matching with the right hand of Solomon Ash. We'll put the top side up for the fallen here being the would-be martyr with delusions of sainthood. For Tender of Blooms, I think I'm flipping it to the apothecary and provider of perfumes, potions, and poisons, and not just because it's fun to say. The question here is the context. Like, someone throw me a bone here. What context would Endymion be talking to this sort of person over? And how would that, and I'm going to pull on you directly, involve Alizarin?
Good news, Shrug. Somebody else can play Endymion.
I mean, has Endymion gone back to Alizarin? To be like, oh, this guy's been here for a second.
Maybe he hasn't. That's a good question.
Not to say that Alizarin is the Tender of Blooms.
But maybe it is Alizarin speaking to someone like that to find or worse, find them or do something worse when it comes to Endymion. I'm not sure. Or do something better. I actually just straight out don't know.
Well, you can always draw another card to get inspiration if you want to.
Sure. Good point. Why don't we? So let me pull these over.
Oh yeah, I should bring these to scene thread. Anyway.
Yep. Let's pull another card. Let's see what the world has to say. That's a 3 this time. Oh. Hey. Hello, old
Guess
friend.
who's back?
Back
again. Chasm's back.
Okay. Man. They just disappeared off the face of the planet, huh? In a metaphorical sense.
Oh, that is fun.
Was it metaphorical?
But maybe this could be. And here's a wild one for you. Hey, what was one of those Tender of Blooms things? About being a teacher.
Yeah. Gardener, florist, or
What
teacher.
if that's Taproot? His name is literally Taproot.
That's very fair. The two come into contact.
What if this is like Alavar? Maybe like there is talk of Endymion walking off after that scene, and maybe it's Taproot going to Alizarin being like, "Hey, so you should know, your boy just walked off into the dark." Or maybe it's a little later, and Endymion didn't come back, and there was a big old chest of coins that he left with.
It's just abandoned on the shore. I think Taproot's just been kind of watching it and like waiting for him to come back. And maybe pick that thing up.
He'll be back.
Yeah,
Oh
so
no.
Taproot's
Oh,
just
no.
kind of okay. I've got an idea then. So it is this chest, and I think like Taproot has stayed with it. I think he struck up a fire on the shore. They've pulled over like a log of driftwood, just kind of like sat themselves on it. It's been in the course of days, and they've had enough time to set up like a lean-to almost alongside that fire, and they've just been kind of hanging out with it because they know it's not valuable to the lake, but it's valuable to the expedition. And if someone comes knocking, they're like, well, I don't want them to think that it's been lost or that anyone's taken anything from it. So there they sit and just kind of await someone at this point to come collect it.
So Alizarin seeks out Taproot and finds him here.
Yep.
With this abandoned cache.
This abandoned cache in both senses.
Cache of cash.
A cache of cash, as it were, yes.
Well, somebody was trying to make a sizable purchase.
They sort of sit up a bit with a jolt at first, and then settling back into their stance on the driftwood, tip up the hat and look over, seeing the figure of Alizarin. How do you look when you're not drenched by water, my friend?
What is the vibe when you're not full wet cat mode? When the wet cat is only metaphorical.
Yeah, this very well put together man. He's still got the huge grin plastered on. I think he's got some very well maintained curls of hair that look so much worse when they're wet. It's just such a contrast.
Hmm.
And I think he typically wears this very... It's smart, but still it's this practical leather set of clothing, and it is dyed just bright red. This sort of like... It's almost... that Hazard Orange style of like, it's bright enough to be like, well, someone will be able to find me if I get lost somewhere. This is a beacon of a man in these clothes.
A beacon that stands out against the lakeshore type. Yeah, I think Taproot regards that and just looks bemused at first, and then like, you are Danger Orange, and you do not seem to have good intentions. It is rare that someone will approach this just full out beaming. They stand, and with their spear, they're not pointing it necessarily, but they do hold it up, crossing it sort of over the chest itself, which is still closed, by the by. They really haven't touched it. It's probably a little bit embedded in the sand now, but their prongs sort of cross over between your vision and the cache. And they go, so, someone come looting, or?
I have no idea. I'm come to find you.
Me?
In need of a storyteller. This is telling me a story, and I don't know what it is. And I pull out the ring.
I think still keeping like one hand out with the spear, Taproot just frowns and reaches out. It's extending another hand.
Sorry, is Taproot extending another hand to me?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I'll give it to you.
Yep. And then they'll pause a bit and just sort of like hold it up to their eyes, sort of examining to see if they can figure out what it is that they're looking at precisely. I think it is this sort of situation where, ooh, how to do this. Okay, yeah, I think I know where this goes. Just by sort of humoring this, I'm putting down Doctor on top of Snowdrop.
Ooh, okay.
Oriented more towards a soft heart, steady hand, and strong stomach in this case. And turning it end over end, Taproot will note, well, it's nothing from around here to start with.
Oh.
At least not that I'm aware of, but I haven't ever seen something like this wash up.
And you've not seen one of those. And, Alizarin jerks his head over towards the full chest of coins. With, a ring like that. It wouldn't be from the New Blood.
Oh, that chest? That was left behind by whatever representative came up in the store. Endymion, I think his name was.
No, the ring wouldn't be from one of the New Blood.
No. I've seen a lot of things come up from the lake waters. Never something with a shape like this. I think Taproot does sort of knock open the chest for a moment to compare it to the coinage a bit, just to make sure. And it's definitely a story of like two different emblems. I don't think that's even in question, but he's just sort of like crouched down, peering between the two, and frowning as he looks. So, where did you get this fire on the sands?
Alizarin gestures out to the lake and points down.
From within.
In more ways than one.
Haha. He stands up for a bit, holding it up again and letting it glint by the firelight, and notes, but this wasn't something thrown back.
Oh, it had been sitting down there. Stuck in the craw.
You're looking for more of these?
Not just looking for collector's items. You know what this is. Windings between branches.
I know what it could be.
That's a name, is what it is. It's a history.
There's a frown as he sort of tips the straw hat down for a few moments and just considers. I know something else, too. Of peril. Let's talk a bit about that, shall we?
Grin gets unnervingly wider.
He'll take a second and, one sort of knock the cache closed, and then tap it a couple of times with the blunt end of a spear, and note, this was left behind by someone like you. Like you said, they were trying to pay a price. They got a lot more than they bargained for. And as far as I can tell, at least by where you come from, it was for free. They saw something below. I thought they would come back for what they left, but I haven't seen them since. I think I'm actually going to put this onto blanking out for a second. I'm going to put this onto Anna's stack, actually, for Unicorn.
Ooh.
I am putting Leviathan.
Oh.
Love that.
And I will orient this one towards the scale beyond reference, ambition beyond outside of reason, and servant to nothing.
Dig it. Dig it.
And knowing that they've been fine with walking off with what was previously valuable, you're still fine with taking another shot at what's in the deep.
The event you picked was challenge, yes?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I think I'm gonna play a card on the scene here.
Let's see it.
Don't know if it goes towards my desires, but I'm gonna play Bandit.
Mhm.
I'm gonna flip it. I'm gonna flip it to Gold-Hearted Thief, Lover of Justice, Defiler of Law.
Real? Okay. Let's see it.
There are more things down there that... There are things down there that people like your Siren and your cold-hearted puppet wouldn't miss if they were taken. But they mean a lot more to me. And I think they mean something to you.
He considers this and looks up, and then looks back down and goes, well, to me it's just cleaning out more of the trash for them. Maybe I can see a little more about what was beyond. So fine. I don't know about what's within. I've never taken a single step into that water before. But if it's about taking out what's useless to them, what's useful to us, then I'll come along. Just leave no trace.
How are we going to explore this water as mortal men?
Mhm.
Well, call me what you like, but... What was the last time? What did you try?
Simply dove. And was lucky enough to find air below.
Okay. Then we do it again. On the story itself now, I'll play Misting Rain, not knowing where to go or why, but falling anyway. If it was simple instinct, and if we're not anything useful, then it'll spit us back out. But if we're just like the one that just got shown whatever was under there, don't think we're making it out in one piece.
Oh, my dear Taproot. Anywhere where that's a guarantee isn't worth going.
And you lead and I'll follow. But I'll take first look at anything we see.
Mm-hmm. I think it's worth drawing a card to see how this might go. Okay.
Oh.
It'll take a while as we send it back 10 times. Okay. So, this card is Mother of Monsters.
Oh boy.
Alright.
Boy.
Cool. So, life spoken into the world, volatile and unfamiliar, or a vengeful force purging the poison from its home.
That's very fun.
One of y'all try to purge me from your home? Or is this a new force?
I mean, Anathema would definitely try to purge you from her home, and has done so in the past, but it could be interesting if the mother of monsters means that the lake the lake disgorges something else to stand in your way.
Oh boy.
But it's y'all's scene, so that I leave that up to you, but that is my suggestion.
Man. Whenever we've spoken about it, at least when we were forming up, we always talked about how there's not really an obvious danger in it per se, but that it's something more creeping and insidious too.
Mm-hmm.
Is it just something in the water then? Is it necessarily a being, or is it more just the quality? Like the darkness itself, we're going into a steep drop, right? The last time that Alizarin went in, he got swept up in something. The something slammed into him, and I'm not sure that he's so lucky this time. But we also talked about how time is strange as you get deep. I think it's one of those situations where normal instinct would tell you and lead you to those moments when you should be resurfacing, but it's hitting a current or pocket of time where you discover that you can breathe longer than you should and dive deeper than you intend.
I was thinking the same sort of thing. Cory was like, hey, but what if your lungs are almost running on a different time frame? So yeah, sick.
And in terms of like getting sucked deeper, is this the sort of thing where it's like we're in more churning waters and it's like so almost frothy down here that it's easier to just sink. You can't swim upwards even.
Yeah.
Time distorts and space pulls you further in.
Very cool.
Love it.
And the frothy water begins to suck them both down into the depths.
What if a lake was deep enough that it had a gravitational pull so deep as to distort time?
Not the event horizon in the lake. Do we reach a bottom or do we reach equilibrium?
I like that we reach equilibrium.
Okay.
I like the idea that even in this moment, we're not shown the bottom. That's further still.
Beautiful.
Do we wish to draw again for what we find?
I would invite either that or a play from someone. Does anyone have any bright ideas?
I'm looking. I'm going to play this.
Ooh, that's a fun looking one.
Cartilage. There is something about the visual of the art on this card. It looks almost like a sponge. I just really like this equilibrium state you find yourselves in or adjacent or entangled in something. Yeah, a structure of sorts. And where the currents, well, you don't know if it's up or down. The no man's land.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I'll put this to you. This could be something related to Gears people. And like, I want to get it like, I'm talking like Mary Celeste vibes. Like the whole thing feels dead and abandoned. There is nothing here. Oh, there is no body here. I think maybe I like the idea that maybe as you walk or there's like a resonant frequency to the coral or the bone or whatever it is here that I think almost sings in a way that definitely Taproot would realize. And there's got to be some bioluminescence down here because there's you gotta.
Yeah. Gotta see the way. I think Taproot, much true to the compact just struck with Alizarin, starts to just delve in. Like, they get first look, and they are taking first look.
I mean, if it's something to do with Gia's people and like the idea of cartilage, is it like we're looking at the rebar of like an abandoned structure? Like
I love that.
this used to be like it's a ruin almost
Yeah,
of a city.
definitely. Definitely.
Hey, do we find our missing guy down here?
That is a fun thought.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Okay, just for fun. I feel like I want to draw one more to see how that turns out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Just give me some vibes, deck.
Yeah, give me some vibes,
Hey,
deck.
Deck.
Yeah.
Give me a vibe. Vibe check.
Vibe deck.
Oh, it's the expansion deck card that's in here. It's the only one left from the expansion deck. In the Arbiter.
Survey
Arbiter's
says.
deck. It's Poison Pen!
Yeah.
Hey!
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Okay. So a festing rumor easily spilled, acerbic and corrosive, or a private punchline put to page, a half-truth immortalized, blown beyond proportion.
Okay, then I think that means Endymion is here.
Yeah,
Private punchline moments.
Oh,
I mean, dead or transformed.
part
or-
way.
Yeah.
You know,
Hmm.
like the deleted scenes in some of the Alien movies, like partially cocooned in something, and he's
Mm.
changing.
Are there others with our guy?
Maybe there are other, like, empty cocoons.
Mhm.
Or, distressingly, maybe there's one or two cocoons that have, like, transformed individuals who didn't make it. Like, the transformation was such
Yeah,
that
I
they
like
couldn't
that.
survive.
Or maybe something about this, like clearly a learning curve has maybe happened as well.
Mhm. Yeah, because we do have Mother of Monsters in play, so...
Very true. Yeah, I think Taproot just sort of regards that and then raises an eyebrow and looks back to Alizarin. You remember the one trying to pay a price. Just sort of like loosely gesturing with the bone end of his spear.
Like the rictus grin falters for a second.
Is Anathema in the area at all also?
That's a good question. Unless she saw you two diving, I don't think she has any reason to be here specifically.
Okay.
Because she's not of Gia's people. I
If you
think
want Anathema to be there, though, Gia would have absolutely said, guess what these chuckle fucks are doing now?
yeah, I don't think she's here.
No worries. I do feel like though, like is it Alizarin or is it Taproot that tries to speak with Endymion in this moment? I think Taproot would try, but I'm not sure if Alizarin tries for it first.
Yeah, I don't think Alizarin would think that's even possible.
Okay, then yeah, Taproot tries. And I think the response is much like that sound and sensation that normally comes, if I may be presumptuous. I feel like for this specifically, and I'm going to put Bridge now on top of my own Ivy here. The choke point shortcut and rope and wood haphazardly lashed side upwards. It's that situation of attempting to commune, and Taproot, while not understanding more directly, is almost getting a sort of lexicon of the mind half wandered between words that Taproot can understand and words that are closer to what Gia can communicate. Wait, what's Alizarin doing in the background then?
I think Alizarin is more interested in the actual structure, interestingly enough. Trying to give us a good note to end on here.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got an idea for that while Taproot is having this mind meld moment.
Go for it. Yeah.
I think as Alizarin is poking around, maybe like trying to get a feel of the place. Yeah, I'm gonna play this. Ba 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 da ba ba ba. I am playing a cursed sword.
Mm.
Oh.
A voracious blade, double-edged, glittering red with an unquenchable thirst. As Azarian steps away enough from Taproot that Taproot doesn't hear / pick up on gear dropping down on Alizarin, and his senses, it's like being shouted at in his head.
Hmm.
And just like, you are not meant to be here. And just, I think it's like that, it's so vibrant, the bioluminescence flaring, that's all he can see for a second before the world goes dark.
Hmm.
And that's where the scene ends.
Very good.
Maybe don't come to the angry, aggrieved mushroom mermaid's house without an invitation.
Well, you know.
You gotta
You gotta.
for the plot.
Mm-hmm.
Something, stand your ground laws. Yeah.
Okay, let's redistribute some cards.
Who wants what?
Who wants what? Oh, man.
Cory, it is your scene, so I feel like,
It's my
or your
party.
event, so
Yeah.
you should probably get first dibs.
I feel like I should take Bandit.
Okay.
I'm taking Bandit.
I want Poison Pen.
Yo, you
Take
want
it.
Poison Pen.
I want Mother of Monsters.
Yeah.
You're so real for this.
Unless Coda, you want Mother of Monsters.
No, you have it. You
Okay.
take it. I'm going to take the Fallen.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. That's one of the threads, though, is it not?
Fine.
I don't
Steal my
know if
fun.
we can or
Ruin my fun.
I'm so sorry.
I'm going to grab a new one from the deck then, because
Okay.
none of the others are particularly vibing. I would like to add Cursed Sword to the Arbiter's deck.
I was
though.
about
would
to say
yes.
that, yes.
I would wholly agree with that, yeah.
Okay. And then rest of the guards gathered up.
Yep.
And to go back with the event. And the card at gold was.
Uh-huh.
Godless.
Oh.
A curious outsider, a prodigy, a paradigm shift, a loss of faith, a scientific impossibility.
Now that's fun.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Yippee.
To be continued.